Thanks, Ryan. We are here. You can see in the background, Coach about to start his press conference, so he's going to go over all the individual players coming up right here on UND.com. But let's go big picture. 22 young men so far have faxed in their letters of intent. Talk about the class.
Well, great balance across the board. We're talking about skill players at the running back and wide receiver position, cornerback, safeties, 5 guys on the offensive line. You know, I mean, I think if you look at it across the board, it represents the third recruiting class in that you've got great balance, and now you've answered a lot of your depth questions.
When you look at the offense, you literally, Chuck Martin put it as succinctly as I think you can. You recruited an entire offense. You wouldn't do this, but if you had to, you could put an entire freshman offense on the field this fall.
Well, they're going to be on the field. It's just maybe they won't be on the playing field, but they're going to be together a lot. This is a group that has really bonded well together, and I'm really excited to get a chance to look at him. And, of course, Steve Elmer being here early, we'll get a chance, and everybody will get a peek at Steve this spring.
Now, of course, you've got a lot of veterans back on defense. You lose 3 key guys. How is this class going to mesh into that?
Well, I think that's what you're doing. I mean, each year you're going to have to, replace some very good players. But when you have balance within your organization relative to your numbers, then it's easy to replace. You don't feel like you've got holes. So this now will put us in a position where we can replace every year those key positions and have guys ready to take over.
You have emphasized since you got here special teams. You're often asked questions about why don't you do more on special teams, and a lot of it's been getting the skill on the field in special teams. How does this depth allow you to do that?
Well, certainly if you take a look at some of the guys that we've recruited, the cornerback position, Devin Butler, you've got Max Redfield. You've got guys that have that skill at that position that can come in and play right away. Offensively, Will Fuller. These are guys that will impact special teams. Look at Doug Randolph, Michael Deeb, all guys that are run to the ball kind of guys, athletic, that can get immediately on the field with special teams.
Now, the fans watching this at home, they have seen Coach Elliott on tape today, but they haven't seen him in person because he has a big challenge
Yes,
today.
He does. He is undergoing a kidney transplant. Found a great match in his sister, and it's obviously something that we're all, our thoughts and prayers are with him. But he's in great hands. He's in great care, and we expect him back quickly. He's an incredible man that he's fought through this, all season, and has had, dialysis all year.
And you couldn't tell. And self-dialysis almost every day.
Self-dialysis in his office. It's been, he's an incredible man, and we know that he's going to be back. He's going to be back stronger for it, and I think he represents all the great things that coaches and mentors need to have.
And he's a huge part of the success of this recruiting cycle. And we do have a tendency to focus on the coaching staff, and you do the bulk of the work, but there are so many others who are also very involved in this.
Well, I would start with Sarah Lawless, who heads up our recruiting office, and she's amazing. She's got great energy. She's a great communicator, and she does great with the moms, when they're on campus. But she does an incredible job organizationally putting things together for us, and she doesn't get enough of the credit. She was a manager here, a student manager, graduate of Notre Dame. She loves Notre Dame. She really sets a great weekend up for us. And, of course, you've got to have other areas. You can't recruit just by bringing them here to Notre Dame. They've got to see people. And, obviously Adam Sargent in our academic support role is incredible. He meets with every one of our recruits and their families when they come on campus. And certainly Bob Mundy in admissions and Don Bishop do a great job of, again, giving our kids the opportunity to come here to Notre Dame. And they sit down and meet with them individually. Jack Swarbrick, our athletic director, as well. So this is a team effort. This is a university-wide driven effort. And they all do a very, very good job.
I know it's complicated. The NCAA rulebook is big. I know Jen Vining-Smith's been here the whole time and improving these. So a lot of people involved. As you now look at this class, and the process isn't quite over, but from what's happened so far, when you identified your needs, and no team gets every player they recruit, but identifying your needs before the process began, how do you feel right now in terms of the success you've had?
Well, here's how we measure it. We measure it based upon the last game we played against Alabama. Did we take a step forward in closing that gap? and I believe we did. We brought in some talented young men across the board that are going to be back in that national championship game. So we took a big step forward today.
Well, Coach promised he'd start his press conference at noon, so we're going to let him go downstairs. Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jack.
It's been
Appreciate
a pleasure.
it.
Always a pleasure.